So what does Dad do? So he's a smart man, and he takes the few remaining pieces of chocolate and he sends them out to be analyzed by a local chemist by the name of Dr. Wood. Now, Dr. Wood, his report came back and said that the chocolates tested positive for arsenic. Arsenic is a chemical element that is on the scientific table posted in your high school chemistry class, but it's a heavy metal element commonly used in car batteries and ammunition, and it's also found in pesticides. But in the Victorian era, it was mixed with vinegar and chalk, and it was used as like a skin lightener by high society ladies who just wanted to, look very pale as if they did not work out in the fields, because that was the look back then. You don't want to tan, you want to be white as milk. But one of the more famous uses of arsenic was as a poison. And arsenic is not a poison you want to mess around with. You will suffer greatly. So with Mary Elizabeth dead, Dad knew that he had to tell his son-in-law, John Dunning, that his wife that he planned to come back to had died. So John was obviously no husband of the year, but the dad felt that he deserved to know his wife was dead. John, who remember, he still loved Mary Elizabeth very much and wanted to fix his marriage after he got back from Cuba, he was devastated by this news. He packed his bags and he headed straight to Dover, Delaware as fast as he could. So he gets there in like 10 days. Yeah, I finished my makeup way too quick because I still got a lot of story. When John gets to Dover, Mary Elizabeth's dad tells him about the chocolates. Oh, yes. So the dad is also cleaning out his daughter's things, right? And he finds those strange letters that were shoved in a drawer. Now, since John was obviously the topic of conversation in the letters, the dad, he shows them to John. He's like, look what I found, these weird letters. Someone was writing my daughter, and your name is mentioned practically on every page. It's saying here in this letter that you're having an affair, that you've been seen around town with some beautiful woman who is not my daughter. Explain yourself. Like, what is this situation? Okay. John takes one look at the letters and he knows exactly who wrote them. So he tells the dad, look, I know whose handwriting this is. I was seeing this woman named Cordelia Botkin, but I broke up with her because I missed Mary Elizabeth too much. I told her I was going to come back, try and fix my marriage, and I guess she just didn't take the news so well. Dad then hands John the card from the box of chocolates and asks if he thinks Cordelia, this Cordelia woman, was the one who wrote the card too. Now, John takes a look at this and he's pissed because the card has the same handwriting as the letters, which means Cordelia most likely wrote the note herself, which means Cordelia probably sent those box of chocolates, which meant that Cordelia most likely murdered his wife. So John tells his father-in-law that he remembered telling Cordelia how much of a crazy sweet tooth Mary Elizabeth had. And she must have stashed that in her noggin, filed that away and used it against her. He also might have mentioned that Mary Elizabeth had a friend named Miss Corbally who lived in San Francisco. And that's maybe where she got the name Miss C from that was on the letter. So after all of this, Dad is obviously mad. He's pissed off because he knows, or he thinks he knows 100%, who killed his daughters, and he wants justice. And this dad is also a congressman, so he knows that he can't go committing revenge murder. The next best thing that he can do is call the police. So he does. So he calls the Dover police, and the Dover Police Department calls the San Francisco police because they needed help. The box of chocolates was purchased in San Francisco, and San Francisco police would have a better chance of hunting down where Cordelia was at than the Dover police, right? Since they're different cities. A detective from Dover hand delivers the murder evidence to the San Francisco PD. This included the remaining candy, the paper it came in, the handkerchief, and the San Francisco police chief, Isaiah W. Lees, he wasted no time and immediately gets to work building a case against Cordelia. Fun fact, Isaiah Lees, this guy, he's basically the godfather of the modern day mugshot. He didn't necessarily invent the mugshot, but in a way he kind of did because he was the first police officer to make it a regular thing. When criminals were arrested, right, he started collecting pictures of these criminals starting in 1854, and by the time that 1898 rolled around, his police department had the largest collection of criminal photos. I thought that was cool. Anyways, we don't know if Cordelia had a lengthy rap sheet at all, but based on her behaviors, one could assume that she may have, which meant that they may have had a photo of her. And this would be super useful. And it's funny because maybe that's what Cordelia meant when she said that she had over 100 photographs taken of her. Anyhow, back to the case. So the first thing Isaiah Lees did was figure out where the box of chocolates came from. That wasn't so hard because the brown paper and pink satin bow the box was wrapped in was pretty well known around San Francisco. Those were the wrappings that George Haas Confectionery, a popular candy store, used to gift wrap their chocolates. Now, this George Haas Confectionery, they had 4 locations, which was like a big deal back then. First of all, everyone recognized the ribbon, but most of all, it was going to be a little bit more challenging to track down the exact store that the box was sold at. But finally, after going to question everybody at the different candy stores, the chocolate stores, they find the store clerk who remembered selling half a box of chocolate bonbons on July 31st to a woman who was short, stout, and kind of frumpy looking. And they're like, hey, that kind of sounds like Cordelia. And the clerk remembered that it was weird that the woman only wanted half a box of candy. So he asked her, why do you only want half? Like, who gives half empty box of chocolates as a gift? And the woman buying the chocolates told the clerk that she planned on adding in her own homemade chocolate to the box, which is weird because if you're gonna go out of your way to buy like top-notch chocolates as a gift, unless you're an amazing baker, why would you put in your own homemade ones? Okay, Cordelia, sure, Also, it was found that on the handkerchief that was left in the box, it had a price tag left on it. So this led the investigators to the City of Paris department store, which at the time was San Francisco's most important department store. So they go down to the department store and they talk to a saleswoman by the name of Miss Grace Harris. Now, she remembered the customer who purchased the handkerchief because she thought that the woman looked just like her dead mother. This saleswoman also had like a picture of her mom with her, and she's like, she looks like my dead mom. And let me tell you, this woman's dead mother was like a dead ringer for Cordelia. They could have been twins. They could have been sisters. She wasn't wrong, but she remembered her because she told Cordelia, you look just like my dead mom. Wow. And she just remembered her. Now, there weren't many post office locations in the same area as the stores, so it wasn't too hard to find the post office attendant who helped a woman ship a box that was wrapped in brown paper with a pink bow. The clerk, a man named John Dunnigan, he had no problem remembering the package sent to Miss John Dunning because he thought, oh my God, it sounds just like my name, because his name is John Dunnigan. I know this is getting confusing, but he just remembered the box being shipped out. And the detective is like, okay, can you tell us what the woman looked like? And he's like, oh yeah, it was this stout, frumpy looking woman. And they're like, it's not looking good for Cordelia. So they had 3 clues down and they had 1 to go. The last piece of the puzzle was the arsenic. Where did it come from?